For years, foreign Muslims have been told that owning a property in Medina is impossible. Alhamdulillah. Now, Saudi Arabia has changed its property ownership law, and the internet swung to the opposite extreme. Suddenly, people were claiming that any foreigner could buy anywhere in the whole of the city or the land. This isn't completely true. Both claims are wrong. Saudi Arabia updated its real estate law ownership by non-Saudis entering into force on the 22nd of January of this year, 2026. And the final implementing of the regulations have now been published. Good news, Alhamdulillah. Now, the blanket of Medina property has been given to the world. The real answer is yes, you can buy now. The buyer passed 5 property tests. Brothers and sisters, my name's Naveed and I help people from all around the world, alhamdulillah, invest in Medina. If you'd like help understanding exactly what the rules are, then feel free to drop me a message or download my free Medina Buyer's Guide, inshallah, which is in the description below. In this video, I'm going to take you through those 5 gates that you need to check before you reserve anything, and I'll explain exactly why being eligible doesn't automatically mean that the property is going to be safe and good for investment. Gate number 1 is the buyer, and are you personally eligible as a individual? Non-Saudis individuals may be able to acquire permitted property on the right side of the Medina geographical zones. The individual may be a resident living in Saudi Arabia or a non-resident living overseas. So Saudi residency is not a universal precondition, and premium residency is not required for every single eligible purchase. But a non-resident doesn't mean passport only. Before a non-resident can use the official process, the final regulations require onboarding elements. A Ministry of Interior digital identity is required, a Saudi bank account in the buyer's name, and a Saudi linked contact number for the digital identity. There is another important distinction under the current official Medina framework. The individual route is restricted to Muslims only. A non-Muslim natural person can not simply apply and use this individual route to become a owner of a Medina home. Companies are a different category. Saudis companies with a non-Saudi shareholder, for example, cannot just follow the same rules as an individual buyer. They face separate incorporation disclosures, use, banking and compliance requirements. So do not treat a company as a shortcut or a loophole. If a company is involved, the transaction needs to be assessed under the rules for exact company and purpose. So let's say you pass gate 1 as an eligible Muslim individual. Does that mean that you can buy the apartment in Medina? No. There's gate 2, where much of the online advice has been becoming dangerous. Gate 2 is the geographical scope. It's the exact property in a location which is approved for the buyer category. Saudi Arabia's framework uses a designated geographical zone. The official program states that the zones control and determine the permitted locations of ownership, the types of rights they have, duration, and other regulatory conditions. That means qualifying as a buyer does not automatically mean that it opens the city to you as an investor. You must check the exact property, parcel, the project on the official Saudi Property Zone Explorer. A broad statement such as "this is the neighborhood, it's open and it's enough" is just not good enough. The property brochure is not good enough either, and the broker saying foreigners are buying here is not enough. And that's why I have been waiting for the zones to be approved so you can be given the correct information. So don't reserve anything and don't transfer any money just yet. You must also see the claims about specific distances to the mosque. Do not rely on any outsourced number. The controlling practical checks is the live official map, which are the rules attached to the exact assets. So gate 2 asks more useful questions than is Medina open. It asks, is the property open to this buyer. But even when the answer is yes, alhamdulillah, one more legal detail can be a complete change to what you are purchasing. Gate 3 is the property right and what you are actually being offered. In the international property marketing, freehold is often used casually, suggesting a permanent and unrestricted ownership. This is not a safe assumption in this particular case. The official framework can permit full ownership with a freehold or a 99-year lease. Now imagine that you pass the first 3 gates. You are now eligible for the property inside the approved scope and the contract describes the correct right. Is it now safe to pay the deposit? Not yet. Gate 4 is the property and the project itself. Now bear with me, inshallah. The green result on the geographical map answers a legal eligibility question, and it does not prove that the off-plan development is properly licensed, that the land title is clean, the contract protects you, that construction will finish on time, and that the investment will perform. And this is why I'm making this video. If you are buying off-plan, the production team should verify the project's current Wafi status, developer details, the land registry information, contract terms, payment routes, escrow arrangements, and any project-specific approvals that might apply, inshallah. Wafi is the important regulatory and buyer protection checks. It is not a guarantee of completion timing, rental occupancy, resale liquidity, or capital growth, or even yield. This is where buyers often confuse 3 very different questions. Am I legally eligible? Is this project compliant? Is it a good investment, inshallah? The property can pass the eligibility test and still fail due to commercial due diligence. The distinction is central to the entire channel, and we will analyze Madinah's demand drivers. So the prices, the risks in the next video. But first, you need a repeatable way to screen opportunities before the sale conversation even begins. Navigate these 5 gates for every property you consider is exhausting, and getting one of them wrong can be expensive. That is why we've created the Madinah Buyer's Guide. It includes practical pre-screening checklists to help you organize the questions, inshallah, around your buyer eligibility and the official zones that you can buy in that keep you protected throughout the transaction process before you speak to anybody, inshallah. Educational starting point, not to replace the the official portals for that you can review, but you can download it using the free link in the description below. And now let's complete the 5th and final gate, because this is where the transaction becomes legally effective and where outdated free claims can mislead buyers. Gate 5 is the official transaction process. Can the buyer complete the identity, banking, payment, and registration requirement? Applications, relevant payments, and the title procedures are channeled through Rega's Saudi property electronic portal and connected to the registry systems. The property must satisfy the in-kind registration requirements, and the real estate right only becomes legally effective through the component real estate registry. The registration form, the payment receipt, or the developer contract does not by itself prove that the property is legally completed by you. For a non-resident individual, remember the 3 onboarding requirements from the gate 1: the digital identity, Saudi bank account, the linked Saudi contact number. The regulation also requires the official electronic route and compliant procedure process. Now, the fees. Some older materials say the buyer automatically pays the 10% charge. That is no longer the safe statement. The final regulation sets a 2% real estate depositation fee to cover the non-Saudi real estate rights and uses in Medina. Separately, Saudi Arabia's real estate transaction tax rate is 5%, but do not simply add those figures and tell every buyer you will be paying 7%. The liable party, transactional structure, exemptions, zero-rated cases, timings, and other costs must be confirmed for that specific deal. There may also be brokerage, legal, registration, finance services, or project charges. So those should be itemized separately rather than hidden inside one headline number. And one final warning, do not try to bypass the system with a nominee arrangement or misleading information. Under the official Q&A, general violations can result in a fine up to 5% of the right value, capped at 10 million Saudi Riyal. False or misleading ownership information can also lead to major fines. So in serious cases, sale of the public asset can go to auction. This is a regulated ownership route. Treat it accordingly, inshallah. So can foreigners buy property in Medina in 2026? Yes, but only for qualifying buyers and qualifying properties. For foreign individuals, the useful question is not simply, are foreigners allowed, inshallah? It is, does the buyer buying this asset property through this exact legal right and through the official process pass all 5 gates? The buyer must qualify, the location must be approved, the permitted legal rights must be matched the contract, the property and project must pass their own checks, and the buyer must complete the official banking payment and the registration process. But knowing that you can buy is only the first step. The bigger question is whether the Medina market itself justifies your investment, inshallah. If you like the video, don't forget to like it and subscribe, and don't forget to share with friends and loved ones that this could benefit. In the next video, I'm going to show you the major developments changing the city, the real demand drivers behind the market that we've talked about, and the risks that headlines leave out. Click here to see why Medina is changing right now. I'll see you in the next one.